Look, I've had very, very unfair decisions. People said this should have gone away a long time ago in summary judgment. I don't care if the judge is Mexican or not. I'm going to do great with the Mexican people because I provide jobs. So I don't care about Mexican. But we're being treated very unfairly, Bill, very, very unfairly. I want to talk about how lousy the economy is. I want to talk about how badly we're doing against ISIS, how badly we're doing on the border. But every time I go into a show, all they want to do is talk about Trump University.
All right, that was Donald Trump earlier tonight talking about the media's obsession with the Trump University case. Here now with reaction, Fox News contributors Tucker Carlson and Monica Crowley. I would say that he was inarticulate in as much as talking about the judge, Monica, and the heritage. But there are some real questions about whether or not this judge is radical, has an agenda. His connection, he's not a member of the National Council of La Raza that believes in Aslan and believes that the southwestern United States should go back to Mexico, but he is with the La Raza Lawyers Association. I took a look at what I think is their website in San Diego, and they offer help for illegal immigration. I think that's a big issue. One of the plaintiffs in the case, Robbins Geller, okay, that chairman gave money to Hillary Clinton's campaign, and that same chairman, that same organization gave $450 grand to Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton for speeches.
Yeah, and that's
two speeches.
That's just the beginning, Sean. If you do a review of this judge and his associations, Donald Trump has every reason in the world to be concerned. Judge Curiel is an Obama appointee. He's a campaign contributor to Democrats, including the House Democratic Conference Chairman Javier Becerra. The lawyers group to which he belongs, you pointed out, it is not the National Council of La Raza, but it is a Latino activist group. The two law firms have senior partners, Sean, that have donated to major Democrats, including Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. So he has every right to suspect that he might be the victim of a political witch hunt here. The question is, was it proper for him to go after Judge Curiel in the way he did it, or should he have removed public attention from this case, stop focusing attention on the Trump University lawsuit, and have his lawyers handle it, file a change in venue, and so on? Yeah, I think that probably would have been the smarter way.
He wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post. He said an independent judiciary is extremely important, but that value is not the only one in play here. And I think this is important, Tucker. There were real, legitimate concerns about a conflict of interest, about whether or not recusal would have been appropriate for this judge in this case based on his stated agenda and associations, no?
Yeah, I mean, according to Monica, Monica's totally won me over on that. Trump didn't at all. Trump muddied it. He confused it. He embarrassed himself. And me, as someone who is, pretty sympathetic to a lot of the themes he's been raising here. I mean, look, to the extent he talks, as he said himself tonight, he seems to have sobered up for a moment. If he talks about the economy and immigration and the death of the middle class and the tragedy of Obamacare and what open borders are doing to the country, he wins. He beats Hillary Clinton for sure. If he continues to talk about himself or Trump University or Mexican judges, he loses. It's really that simple. And so it's not about what reporters want to talk about. Who cares what reporters want to talk about? He's the presidential candidate. He can talk about whatever he wants. So with the wave of the hand...
But there also is this double standard. Think about this.
Of course there is.
Remember, Monica, when Judge Sonia Sotomayor talked about wise Latina, wasn't there an inference there that her background, her diverse background, would be a plus, an advantage, it would offer perspective she wouldn't otherwise have, or even the criticism of Clarence Thomas, and the horrible names that he was called because he didn't fit into the mold that would add the perspective that liberals wanted.
Right, of course, yeah, of course. And what we're seeing here now is sort of a reversal of what the left has shoved down our throats for decades, which is white judges and white juries can't be fair. Right? They can't be fair if you've got an African-American or somebody else of color who is standing trial. They can't be fair. That's the assumption that the left has operated and shoved down this country's throats for a very long time. In fact, the U.S. Supreme Court's got 8 members now with the death of Scalia. 7-1, with Clarence Thomas abstaining, just said that an African-American male should be able to revisit his death penalty sentence because the jury was all white. This just happened out of Georgia, okay? This is what's happening in reverse. So Donald Trump then can't do the reverse. He can't raise the idea that perhaps because this man is of Mexican heritage or because he has this political ideology, he can't be fair to Donald Trump. Somehow Trump is not right for raising that question.
Well, but I think you're making such a smart point, and it's impossible to disagree with it, and with the larger point that the left only has power because of its relentless race baiting, of course, scaring people into voting because they claim the other side hates them based on the color of their skin. But the question, if you take 3 steps back, is do you want to live in a country where only people of a certain race are able to interact with and judge those of the same race. And of course, the answer is no, you don't. You want to reject that way of thinking and at least believe in the possibility of a colorblind society where people are judged based on what they do and say rather than on their genetic code.
But especially on this important issue of immigration. If you're a member of, again, not the National Council of La Raza, but La Raza meaning the Race Attorneys or Lawyers Association, and they also have a history and an association with helping illegal immigrants, that to me seems like you have a conflict. I would argue that you need some type of objectivity.
But that's totally fair, but then say that. Say that. Don't get off into this garbage about his parents. I mean, like, what is that? Here's the risk. The risk is that comments like that delegitimize the larger theme, which is that unrestricted immigration is wrecking the country.
Is what you're saying, but he should have articulated it differently.
Yeah, and he should also be making, I think, a broader case about the judiciary in this country. He should be saying, look, you know, we have X number of judges in this country who are biased. A lot of them are on the left. A lot of them are legislating from the bench. And if you elect me president, I'm going to make sure that the federal judiciary, starting with the Supreme Court, is stocked with conservative judges so we don't have this kind of issue.